All right, hello everyone. Troy again from BBR Worms and Greens. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my worm chow. Um, I'll be honest, I'm doing it kind of lazy. Most stuff is already kind of ground up. The only thing that's not is this rolled out, which I used to grind up, and then I realized the food processor that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace was terrible, and I figured, you know what, they can eat these big flakes because they're super thin, so I don't care anymore. So there you go. Pulling everything out here, and what I totally suggest is to don't do what I did and don't buy any of the stuff on Amazon, or at least not a lot. Um, basically buy what you can from feed stores and stuff like that. It'll save you a lot of money. Not that this stuff was crazy, but I mean, it was probably about 150 Canadian dollars or something like that. And I bought a bit of extra of a lot of stuff. And yeah, I probably could have done it much cheaper at a feed store for probably half the price. So one of the things I put in is cornmeal. So I'm gonna make sure I get that on camera. Nothing terribly special about it. It's literally just cornmeal, and it's super broken down. I don't personally care that it says organic or anything like that on there. It is what it is. The other thing is rolled oats. They seem to love that. Ideally brown flour, but I just wanted to get something done fast, so I got some white flour, and I just use a little bit less of it. Um, so yeah, Dolomite lime. This is essentially, you can use it for grit, but it also has calcium, magnesium, and it neutralizes acidity in your soil. So, and I have an issue. I don't know if you saw my update from a few minutes ago. I actually have an issue in one of my worm bins where my baby worm bin only, and I have a whole bunch of pot worms, and I have a significantly smaller population of baby worms, baby red wigglers than I did before. So I think there's something, I know there's something wrong in that bin, and I have a feeling it was acidity, but we'll have to see. Kelp meal. So there's a lot of different kind of kelp related stuff, whether it's liquid or you know, um, whether it's dry or whatnot. So I just got the stuff that I can kind of mix into this, and glacial rock dust. So this is another one of those grit things. I don't think anyone really mentions this at all, and honestly, it was just kind of a guess whether, because this is good for your soil. So it's good for your soil, and it's grit. Has magnesium, iron, and manganese on there, just like very little bits. But mainly, it's for grit. So you can't go wrong with stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. There's nothing crazy in here, right? There's something for a little bit of grit, a little bit of pH neutralization, calcium, magnesium. There's oyster shells. I forgot about this. So crushed oyster shells. I wish they were more crushed. I wish they were like pulverized. You can, if you want to go that hardcore into it, because this also helps buffer your pH and adds a little bit of grit. Some of these are probably too big for. Some of these are probably a little bit too big for a lot of worms to be quite fair about that. But I think it'll probably break down eventually. But regardless, it's also good for your soil. So at the end of the day, I have enough grit in here. So if it's good for the soil, that's good enough for me because I have grit from my glacial rock dust, right? So you have cornmeal, which again, you're getting some potassium, you're getting a little bit of iron, and you're just getting some fibers and stuff like that. So you're getting, and frankly, they just like to eat it. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I can't remember what you get out of the rolled oats. Honestly, can't remember other than that along with the flour is just easy food for them. They really don't have to think about it. It breaks down immediately, and they devour the living god out of it. Don't put too much flour in because you're going to get other issues. But I usually have like kind of 2 or 3 times whatever I put in rolled oats. Sorry, let me clarify that. If I put in like two cups of rolled oats, I might put in like maybe a cup of flour or something like that, and probably a cup or a cup and a half of cornmeal. Only because, frankly, the cornmeal, you can pretty much just do cornmeal if you want, but it comes down to cost. This stuff is dirt cheap, and the other stuff, I guess flour is too, but you can't have too much flour. So, that's pretty much it. You do what you can for the cost you have. And I have more. I have more rolled oats. Again, they're dirt cheap, and if you buy them in bulk, they're actually cheaper. So, that's pretty much what I should have done at the start, but it was something I wanted to just get going easy and simply. So, bear with me 2 seconds here while I wipe off my super dirty cup. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So nothing terribly exciting here. I'm literally just going to measure some stuff out, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm probably going to do, just for the sake of literally being able to actually stir this around, I'm going to do this in a couple batches probably, because I have to go feed these little buggers. So I'm going to do one round with you, and then I'm going to do one or two other rounds afterwards just on my own. But if you fill it up too high, obviously you're just going to make a mess everywhere. So yeah, and I found that this stuff gets eaten relatively fast. Obviously just like any worm chow. Chicken feed, I've heard, is also very good, and I'm definitely going to get some from a feed store. I just literally haven't, so I don't have one necessarily in my area. I have to travel a little bit, and with a toddler and all that stuff, it's not always the easiest. So I should definitely have smaller. I don't know where my smaller, teaspoon, tablespoon. Oh, here they are. There you go. So this is a third of a cup. Definitely don't need that much, but something about this. So that's probably less than a quarter of a cup or something like that of oyster shells. At the end of the day, you can't really go wrong with whatever you're doing as long as you provide them grit and calcium. Those are really the two major things you want to do. So far I have rolled oats, I have my cornmeal, and I have my oyster shells, right? So from here, I'm going to get some flour, probably, about a cup of flour, maybe a little bit less actually. I have to make a couple batches, so there'll be more in there anyways. And then your glacial rock dust. And you know what I'm actually going to do? Do a bit more of the rolled oats. I'm not terribly precise at this. I was at the start, and then I realized I don't really care because they eat it, and they obviously seem to like it. And to be fair, there's not a lot of grit probably in this because it's really fine, but like this is the really, really, really fine grit that probably like the babies and stuff like that can get into. So, when you have the smallest of little baby things, worms obviously, you probably want to give them something smaller than this to digest, because those are bigger than some of the babies, actually a lot of the babies. Kelp, again, let's see what's in the kelp here. It has 1% nitrogen, 2% potash, and yeah, and it's a 102. So it's just good for everything all around. So even if you go kind of heavy-handed on it or something like that, I mean, you can't really go heavy-handed because if they don't eat it, it just goes into your soil, and it's good for your soil. So that's kind of how I think about it. Obviously, don't put anything in there that is not good for your soil. And dolomite lime, again, I have an issue right now with probably acidity. This is probably why I have potworms. So I'm going to put a little bit more than I normally would. And yeah, I just want to make sure that that gets kind of under control. And then what do you do next? Really not much of a shocker, right? You literally just dig your hand in there and start mixing around. So, not rocket science, really not. Ideally, and yes, 100% ideally, you would then put this into a food processor, a grinder, whatever will shrink this down into bite-sized morsels for the smaller worms. That being said, this rolled out stuff, it might look big, and you might not think that the babies will eat it. It breaks down so fast that it is gone in a few days. There's nothing at all to it. And this stuff you can get anywhere off any grocery shelf or whatever. So, again, it's not the end of the world. This year will feed all the worm bins I have. And I think I'm just for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to make a couple more batches off camera. And then I literally just throw them in this crappy little dry food storage tote thing here. That's pretty much it. And then, that's literally it. So there's nothing terribly special to it. Grab whatever you have on your shelf, what you can find cheap, what you can find on sale. You don't even have to do all this much stuff. You don't need to find glacial rock dust. You don't need to find kelp. It's a good idea to have some kelp. Kelp is also good for worm tea. So you want things that have calcium. You want things that have some of your micro and macronutrients. But you don't have to. You can be as diverse as you can afford to be, but don't go crazy. That's all I'm going to say on that. That's really it. I knew that buying what I bought, I would be good for a minimum of 6 months. So I may or may not have to buy like one ingredient to get me through to that 6 months, but it's already been a month and a bit now, and I'm pretty sure this kelp was probably only to up here. You never get a full back of anything these days, right? I've went through one of these things of cornmeal. I'm now cracking the second one out. So it goes on, and this stuff here, I've gone through one bag. I went through like $4 worth of this stuff. So it goes a very long way. So do your own. Buy from someone if you really need to. But you don't need to grind it. You don't need to do all that unless you have like really giant chunks or something like that. And check out a feed store. Like this thing is an example here. This is your crust oyster shells. Now I have not, I have not inquired, and nor have I gone to this feed store yet. But they have it like this year. I sort of got it was like maybe 2 pounds for like $20 or something. Not terribly expensive, but also not terribly cheap either. And they have 50 pounds or something like that for like $20, but they're not crushed. So I think they're just full up oyster shells that you have to somehow break down yourself. So if you have a means to do that, and I don't even know if they're easy to do or not, I want to inquire about this because I will be more than happy to figure out a way to do that. If it is literally like 100, actually, if it's like 1/100th of the cost. So, that being said, look for bulk deals. Don't buy small bag. Don't do what I did because I did it out of convenience. Don't buy small bags of this stuff for $2.99. That's 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds. Buy like a 20 pound bag or something like that. If you have a place to store it, that won't get bugs. I'm just going to say that right up. Don't buy big vats of anything if you think they're going to get infested by bugs, because they will. Been there, done that. Gross. We got an infestation a couple years ago from the hell was that? Birdseed. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was crazy. But anyways, tangent. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Buy bigger bulk stuff. And it's crazy the deal you can get. Like if I bought 3 times larger bags of whatever thing I bought, I probably would have spent the same amount of money going to like a bulk store. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of my that's kind of my spiel for right now. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe. I will definitely try to be on here more often. Honestly, the last couple of weeks have been really crazy with life and all the gardening stuff. If you look at my last update video from a few minutes ago, we just started planting hundreds of plants for a large upcoming plant sale and stuff like that. So, and we're going to get into the thousands of plants. So take a look at that video. Look for updates on that. There's going to be, again, tomato, and there's also flowers and stuff too. So we're doing all kinds. I'm going to do a video in a few days or something like that dedicated to that. But essentially, yeah, there's all kinds of things that we're going to be doing, and enjoy the ride. I know not everyone. This camera angle still sucks. I'm sorry, everyone. I will get it fixed. For right now, it's really the only thing that kind of works for a downwards view. I do apologize for that. So I will get that resolved soon. But right now, I just have some life stuff to do. So this is the best I can offer. But I hope you got some value from this. Again, please like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. And I have some great ideas for some stuff. And I keep thinking I'm right at the end of my mission to give everyone, not give, but sell everyone at a very reasonable price. A new invention I have for a sifter. That being said, I have a version in wood that is awesome. I have to work really hard to get my metal version working because I think that will be the most cost-effective version for everyone. So bear with me. I'm probably going to have a wood version up and hopefully by March 1st or something. But for the metal version, it might be a little bit longer. It's a long story, but yeah, it's just difficult to do. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone. But if I can say anything, it's don't go out and spend any money on crazy expensive sifters unless you want to message me, because I have my prototype being built, and I guarantee it's going to be better than most things on the market for a tenth of the cost. Sounds ridiculous, but it really is. I just have to get it built. Okay, thank you very much, and have a great day, everyone. Bye.